Yeah, that was before the stadium. That was Newcastle arriving when they're showing you around the iPro stadium. But what a win. We're here, everybody, to do the review. I do apologise, there is going to be no highlights. I could get less quality highlights for you, but if you haven't seen the goals, or if you'd like to see the goals, are in the description below. I've put them on my Facebook because I had perfect pictures of the highlights, and I've stuck them over on my Facebook because of copyright, so apologise if you wanted them. But go over Facebook, have a look at them. It'll be there as well. Just put it in, have a look on Facebook, like the page as well. Right, so yeah, what a win. What an outstanding win. We're going to talk about the game. But I've got a couple of snippets for you. First of all, we're going to hear from Jamaal Lascelles and Yoann Gouffran, and we're also going to hear from Rafa Benitez briefly. There's going to be the full videos on them are going to be separate videos as well. So here's a couple of snippets from Jamaal Lascelles first, Gouffran, and then Benitez.
Yoann, your first goal for 20 months. How important was it to you and the team today?
It's important for me to score because I play, and when you are an offensive player, you have to score or get assist. So I'm happy tonight.
Tell us a bit more about the goal. Is that one that you practiced on the training ground?
Firstly, I wanted to block the guy for Jamaal. So I was alone and I shot. It was a good volley and good goal. I'm happy.
Jamaal, what this man's done today, having come into the squad and the team in recent games, does that tell us about the spirit at Newcastle now?
Yeah, definitely. It just shows how much character our team's got. You know, even if we get there on start, they're back in. I mean, we didn't really play much last season, but you know, his attitude's brilliant now, and it's exactly what we need to keep on and do what we need to do.
You're using the lads that were already here. You've given Gouffran, I think it's been fantastic for you, and your message is coming across. How pleased are you with the likes of Gouffran coming back in and playing as well defensively and in attack as he did today?
Yeah, you say I'm happy because they understand that if you want to go up, if you want to stay at the top of the table, you have to work hard. Players that were here before, players that maybe they were not performing at the level that everybody was expecting, they are doing everything now, trying to do well for the team, for the fans, for everyone. So really pleased because we have a good squad and everybody now is trying hard, and that is the best news for the manager.
So yeah, Rafa's over the moon with Gouffran. A lot of Ian Holloway's just said that he's impressed with how Gouffran's working. And we're going to come on to Gouffran in a moment, but we're going to start with the lineups and a few surprises again. Jack Colback was in the lineup, and everybody questioned it, including myself. And I was like, oh, really? Hayden on the bench. Hayden's been great, but it's the Tinkerman, Rafa. But to be honest, Jack Colback had a really good game. He had a really good game. We'll come on to all the mentions towards the end of the video. Mitrovic on the bench, that wasn't a massive surprise for me, but the most surprising for me was no Daryl Murphy on the bench. There was no Christian Atsu. They weren't even in the squad. We know that Czech it won't be considered. There was no Grant Hanley, so Newcastle's squad in depth, and we've only got 2 injuries at the moment. We've only got Elliott and Aaron's out. Newcastle squad in depth is massive. It's huge at the minute. We've got players that can literally fill in the second team, you know. So let's begin then. So Derby, first 15 minutes, they were the better side, I have to say that. They had an offside goal, which was rightly disallowed. And then they had a penalty shout, which was by Olsen, Marcus Olsen, when he spun round Anita. Anita was just like that, and I think it was more of a case of Olsen hitting Anita rather than the other way around, in my opinion. And then they had Newcastle started growing at the game, you know, after about 15 to 20 minutes. And the goal come just before, goal come on 20 minutes where Gale had a shot which was deflected wide for a corner, and then Shelby picked the ball up, and it was like a looping cross. And when I seen it go over, I thought, oh, he's overhit it. But then, wow, Yoann Gouffran pings it, Tekkas, bottom corner, the power on that, and then he points to his leg muscle. Get my leg up. He points to his leg muscle, you know, saying, what a goal. Everybody's stunned by it. I put it on Twitter, and it got like over 100 retweets and everything. It was going mental. Again, if you haven't seen the goals, get on my Facebook page and have a look at them. Unreal. What a goal that was. It was just, fuck me. To be fair to the lad, he's been phenomenal the last few games. So we're going to come on to all the mentions. Rafa's already picked that up as well. We'll do the mentions at the end. So we're 1-0 up. Kind of boring, I'll be honest with you. It wasn't the greatest game to watch. Derby did have a penalty shout towards the second half again, and it was more of a hoping one where Bryson couldn't really control the ball at the edge of the box, and then you try to claim a penalty for Colback. It was never a penalty. Like they were just hoping, you know. So Newcastle went in the break 1-0, and then I've done a couple of video reactions, of course, which some of you might have seen. Coming into the second half, again, Derby seemed to be the better side. Newcastle were going deeper and deeper and deeper, which was a little bit worrying for me. So we're seeing that, obviously, Olsen had a couple of chances, a looping header, but before that, he cut it on his right foot, which just went wide as well. We're also seeing Anya, his cross hit the bar as well, with Lascelles looked a little bit all over the place, to be honest. We also seen Bryson had a long-range shot, which was straight at Lascelles, and Lascelles decides to punch it, which was again worrying for Lascelles. The jury's still out with him. I know he had a good game against Brighton, but the jury's still out with him. Then Rafa started to make changes, you know. He brought on Perez, which was more surprising for me. That was the second substitution. He brought on Perez for, I think it was Gale, wasn't it? Yeah, it was for Gale. And we're crying out for Mitrovic to hold the ball up, to bring the midfielders into play, because Newcastle was so deep. They were just far too deep for my liking. You brought on Yedlin. You took off Gouffran, who had a great game, and then Richie went to the left. Yedlin played right midfield, and of course later on he brought on Hayden for Diarmé, where Newcastle was sitting for the last 10 minutes as well. But Diarmé, he had a couple of chances. I missed the one in the first half, so you nicked the ball off Shackle and had to try to clip it. I don't know what he's trying to do, and then you nicked the ball off Shackle again, and then it was 2-on-1. He should have played in Yedlin, because Yedlin was free, and he shot low and Carson saved it. That's poor from Diarmé. He should have played it in. He was being a little bit greedy there. But Newcastle were just slowly grinding out the win. And funny enough, the goal come because we're wasting time. That's how the goal come on the left field. Shelvey was just kicking the ball off. He was winning the corners with Richie playing it short. And then Shelvey out the corner of his eye just spotted Perez. And then he pings a beautiful cross in. But Perez, what a deft touch. Just plays it into the feet of Yedlin, and Olsen's right behind him running. Hits off Carson, hits off Olsen. I do think it is going to go down as an own goal, unfortunately. I know Yedlin's claiming he's doing all this friggin' dance thing, whatever he's doing, you know. I do think it'll go down as an Olsen own goal. But Newcastle went out 2-0 winners. Remember, obviously, I've got the videos of obviously them big interviews as well coming up after this. It'll probably be through the night, early morning. But 2-0 winners. It just goes to show you, Newcastle we're now second in the championship, which is mint. I still think, even from day one, that we'll win the league. I still think we'll win the league by 10 points. But it just goes to show you now, we've just played Brighton, we've just played Derby, we've just got 6 points. I didn't think, in all honesty, that we'll get 6 points. I thought we'll get 4. We've got QPR on Tuesday, which I do think Rafa will rotate, but we're not going to talk about QPR yet, because that's for a preview on another video. Some notable mentions. I have to say that Gouffran was brilliant. I have to say Jack Colback had a really good game. Jamaal Lascelles got official man of the match. He had a good game. So did Mbemba, Anita, even Paul Dummett. Derby barely troubled us. Their threat was down their left side with Anya, which I did predict that'll happen in the previews. Anya was their best player, and I was really surprised to see Tom Inch on the bench as well. I was delighted to see him on the bench. I don't know why. Maybe it was a knock, or Pearson just didn't fancy him. So Shelvey, very workmanlike performance. Gale was kind of isolated, but I can understand that. I think we're crying out for Mitrovic to bring midfield in the second half, but it never happened. But like I said, all them substitutes, all the people who didn't even make the bench, Newcastle have got big numbers now, and I'm over the moon. Second in the league, onwards and upwards. A real test of character, playing obviously Brighton and Derby, as I mentioned. We've also got Villa on the horizon in September. I think that's on Sky as well, because we always seem to do well on Sky Sports. Right then, okay, so I'm going to love you as leavers. A fantastic day. I'm waiting for the Kell Brook to come on for the boxing. Obviously, this is after Kell Brook's fight, so you know. But keep an eye out for those interviews. And again, if you haven't seen the highlights, click on the link from my Facebook page and have a look at the goals as well. Give the video a like. Get it. I'm fucking delighted. See you later.